Hi, welcome back. This is Simone from Biim.Games, and today we are going to talk about 12 good reasons to participate in game jams. First of all, I want to say thank you to all of you that support me on Patreon, because thanks to your help, you keep alive this channel. And before I start to talk about the topic of today, as usual, we're going to talk about what I've done this week. So this week I took a little bit easy. I tried to recover a little bit from the big work of the previous weeks. I've done still the last 4 days for this freelance job that I was talking about in the previous videos. And for the rest, I just try to catch up a little bit with the things I left a little bit behind. So try to read news on the website, my email, and so on. Another thing that I haven't done this time is the tutorial for Construct, because I have one video ready for this week, so I didn't worry too much. I'm going to try to organize the video after recording this video and editing, uploading, but the real recording will be done for the next week. And as usual, I haven't put my hands on Creepy Mahjong. I will start from this week and see again how it's going. So let's start with today's topic, and then let's say that if you haven't participated in any game jam yet and you want to become a full-time indie developer, I really highly suggest you to participate in some. This because not only you will improve your current skill, but also you will acquire new skills. And that's the best time to do it, because you haven't committed yet to work as a full-time indie developer. Therefore, you don't have a cost and you don't have time to waste, because as you know, when you run a business, every day that you lose is every day that you lose money. So if you are not producing, really it's a big risk for you. So therefore, when you have a little bit of free time now before making the jump, I really recommend you to spend one weekend or something like that to try to participate in these jams. But first of all, what is a game jam? Otherwise we're talking about nothing here. So a game jam, if you don't know, it's a competition where everyone try to develop a game within a very specific time limit. Usually it's between 48 to 72 hours, but there are also some jams like a little bit shorter, or even last for months or even 1 year. But those are really exceptions. Normally they run during the weekend, so the time is very short, not much time limit to develop a game. And then in this game jam, usually you have some restrictions. Thanks to the restrictions, you can focus more on develop a specific type of game, and also easier to get ideas about this. So first of all, the first thing that we need to keep in mind in a game jam is this kind of competition and events, is that there is a theme to follow. It's not necessarily true for all the jams, but most of the times in this way. And usually the theme is revealed when the jam starts, so no one knows the theme until the real jam actually starts. And another thing that you can have optional restrictions, but this is just made from the organizer. And having the more restrictions actually you have, the better it is, honestly, to develop a game. Restriction can vary, depends on the jams you participate in. It can be engine to use, the type of graphic, like for example pixel art, if the game has to be accessible, or many other things. It really depends, as I said, from the organizer of the jam. Also, sometimes there are optional restrictions that you don't have to follow, but you can decide to follow. These are more suggested for people that are already expert in game jams. This because sometimes it's too easy otherwise to get with any idea, and also people want to try to get more restrained. As I said before, the more restrained, the easier actually it is to find a focus and the game to be developed. Another important aspect of the jam is that normally you participate in a jam when you join together with other people that you don't know. So you have to make a team with other person that you actually never worked before. That's actually very interesting to do, but it's not necessary in this way. you can go already there with your friends or your actual team, or sometimes you can even participate by yourself if you really want to challenge yourself to see what you can do by yourself. So this is not really a strict rule, but that's normally what's happening in the jam. And also talking about another thing about the jam is that normally there isn't a prize for this competition in some case, while in other case there are actually prize. So you might have a jam where there is no prize, nor is not even leaderboard at the end about who made the better game. But the prize in that case is just the idea and the fact that you have developed a prototype that can be actually a prototype for your future games. Or also you have enjoyed the event or course and you'll develop your skills. But this can be the real prize actually is having a finished small project that you can expand in the future. For other gems where you actually have the prize, that can be of course something more interestingly to follow as well. It's like you can receive, for example, free software or hardware, or for example free service. For example, the organizer offering normally paid service. In that case you can see like 1 month or 1 year supply of that service, or even in some cases even a monetary, like actually cash that is given to the winner of the competition. So there is quite a big variety of type of gems that you can participate in, and I think you should just try to participate in all of them so you have a little bit of broad idea about what's a game jam. And also last thing about the gems, that some of them are really only in a running physical place, while other gems can be we can participate and play online, develop online of course, not play, but so there's a bit different aspect that also I invite you to experiment, because there are two different experiences in the end when you work closely with someone and when you work online. I think it's better to have both on your pocket as experience, because in your life you might have a both chance to work with other people in online cases and also physically next to you. So now let's go to talk about this actually 12 points. The first important point that you learn and actually improve is networking. When you go on a jam, unless you decide to participate by yourself, you need to team up with someone. So it's good practice to learn to talk to other people and to understand what they are the skill. Also, you need to understand what they are the skill, because you want to form a team with people that are different skills than yours, so you can have a more chance to develop a proper game. So let's say that also you need to have someone that is suitable to your case. So if you lack, for example, of any art skill and you find an artist, but the artist is only making 3D art while you're focusing on a 2D engine, yes, you can work together, but maybe it's not the perfect match for you. So you could try to find someone else that is more specialized in 2D graphic. Of course, you can need someone that make music, like a compositor. So you can find someone also want to join in the group as well to cover this part of the game. And the more people usually the better product you can have, but also it's hard a little bit to manage the group together. So it's a give and take, but this is for another topic. The good thing anyway, you know other people, and even if you want to go there and participate by yourself, you still have a chance to talk to other people, because even if it's a local event or online event, you still have a chance to see other people project during the jam and at the end of the jam, and exchange feedback. Also, people could play your game, they give you feedback about the game. So it's good for networking. You know other people, that all these people are in the industry or willing to enter in the industry. So every one of these persons that you're going to know, of course, is a good improvement in your networking skills. Point number 2. So this stage is brainstorming, and then you have already formed your team. the jam start, the theme is announced, you need to generate as much idea as you can as fast as possible. And this is very critical phase because you need to consider not only what you can do, but also what your team member can do, what their skill, and most often you have not really much idea about what is their skill. You need to figure out based on what they told you, and then therefore also you need to think about the theme of the game. You have to follow that theme, and in the end you need to think about all the restrictions that the gem has. So therefore not really much you can generate as ideas. You find out that it will be much easier to discard an idea rather than generate. So at the end you might find out that you have one or two ideas that are valuable for the gem. It's worth to try. You pick one of these and then you go. So this skill is very important to learn. Also think about giving it a good time. Don't rush it too much, because if you do a wrong decision at this stage, you're going to compromise the whole gem. So this is a skill that will be also very useful in your everyday life when you, as a developer, of course, when you have to start a project, you need to understand what are the ideas that are suitable and which one are not suitable. The third skill is time estimation. This is related to the previous one, the brainstorming phase, because the more you understand how long it takes to develop a particular mechanic of the game, or a piece of art, or audio, and so on, the easier it's to create a proper brainstorming session. So these two will improve at every jam. These two things are very related to each other. And then, as I said before, it's very important to estimate the timing, because if you can guess the proper timing, you're going to be out of the time limit of the jam. Usually, as I said, they're only 38 hours, 72 hours, so it's not really much the time you have available. Therefore, learn to master this skill. Skill number 4 is cut out all the complex ideas. This is because, as we mentioned many times, in a very complicated idea, it takes too long to make it. You don't have maybe the skills, or you don't have enough time, or you don't have enough team members. So you can't really make a complicated games. You need to focus on something that is suitable for the jam, and then with the skill that you actually have, or skill that you can learn in this short time. So it has to be something that you can improve, but doesn't have to be too much extreme. So therefore, cut out all the things that are superfluous, and try to get with the core mechanics first. Point number 5 is related, even this one, to the previous one, where the previous one you need to focus on it as a skill, because you need to learn, when you develop a game for living, to optimize the time and money you're investing in doing something really useful. You need also to learn how to find interesting mechanics. So remember that a game can have a very nice graphic, very atmospheric audio, but if the game is not fun, no one is going to play it more than a couple minutes, maybe in the best case. Therefore, you need to keep the focus on the core mechanics, even if it's something very simple, with just shapes and just no audio at all, but the game is still can engage people for maybe 15-20 minutes, even this stage. Then you understand that you are on the right way. So therefore, everything that you adapt is important, is good. It's good to have. Of course, I don't say it's not important, but first of all, you need to think about having good mechanics that is interesting, especially during the jam. This will be one of the main focus that you need to concentrate on with your team. Skill number 6 that you're going to improve is speed. As we said, game jam usually lasts 2-3 days, usually aside for some exception. So therefore, you really need to do as much as possible in very short time. And remember that this time is not only related about developing the game itself, but also you have brainstorming, other phases. So therefore, there is not much you can actually put in developing. So you need to learn how to concentrate on your task, cut out all the things that are not necessary. You don't need to listen music, you don't need to check Facebook, and so on. You need just to make game as much fast as possible. So it's not only about the skill in processing the game itself, but also to don't get distracted. So these two things work together, and the more you can focus, the better it is. Skill number 7 is work under pressure. As we said before, a lot of time will be taken for brainstorming phase. Another time, a good chunk of time you will lose in testing the game to see if it's working properly. And don't forget, at the end of the game, you need to at the jam, you need to export the game, publish, and so on. So really, all these things takes time, and then maybe if the jam is lasting 2 days, actually you are only 1 day for developing the game. Also, don't forget you need to have sometime a little break, eat, go to toilet, sleep, because you also need to sleep during the jam. Usually we don't sleep much, but we do. And therefore, really, the time is not really much. So all of this is give you a big pressure. You notice you find yourself that checking the time or the clock on the computer and say, oh my goodness, already 2 or 3 hours are gone. I haven't done any progress or very little progress. And therefore, you start to get maybe panicking. And then that's a skill you need to learn, is just to try to resist to this pressure, keep the concentration, keep calm, don't go in panic mode, and then keep going, because this is a skill that in every day you will face it when you have to deliver the project for a customer, or you need to meet the deadline with your players within the game that you're going to publish. Contingency is a skill number 8 that you're going to improve. And we talked about contingency already many times in the past, so let's just give a quick summary here. So basically, the more you're going to try to do something that you've never done, the more you need to have a contingency. So contingency is proportionally inverted to your skill in the subject. So if you have never done something about this kind of a feature you're going to improve in the game, then you need to add a very big contingency. So this is about what the risk of learning something new. But what if you're going to do something that's not new, so you're doing the usual things? Well, even in that case, you need to still to have some contingency. You will find that at the end of the jam, you always lack of some time, because I see many times a problem with bugs, or last minute bugs, or computer stop to work, or even rare case I saw, even it happened to me in my team. I saw people, 2 developers fighting with each other. So both developers fighting, no one's going to finish the game. And aside for this, it's very rare case that people argue, but it might happen. Or at that time, people get bored, or because they think that there is no hope to finish the game on time or not as they wanted, they just quit before the end of the competition. They are rare case, but all these things might happen, and then you don't want to wait last minute to complete your game. You want to be a little bit ahead. Better to don't add 1 extra feature, but deliver the game a couple hours before, or at least have a save copy that the stable is working, and then try to, in case, add a new feature, rather than just try to use a last minute to develop as much as possible. Because as always happen, in life, you think that don't going to have trouble, but anytime you can have any problem, and then you're going to lose all the jam basically. So it's better to do a little bit less, add some extra time at the end, and you'll be safe. Good reason to go to a jam is reason number 9 is go push yourself beyond your limits. That's good because during the jam you can take risk. Normally, if you already have a job that is starting as a full-time indie developer, you don't want to take much chance to risk your time and money in experimenting something, but the jam a perfect occasion to do it. You have only limited amount of time, you're not going to invest money on this, and you can experiment what you want. So for example, for jam, I created 64 by 64 ill-fated. I never done a beat 'em up game. I never done a multiplayer game, so I took the chance to do this. It was just 2 week time jam in a 64 by 64 pixel art window. So therefore, I learned something that I've never done in my career, even if it was not full-time developer at that time yet, but it was a good chance for me to learn that skill. And in another jam, I never experimented with physics, so I took the chance to make a pinball game. So, you can do as much try as you want. Of course, you don't want to do too much. You need to start to do something that you can think you can finish by the end of the jam. If you don't finish, it's okay, you still try, but overall, try to aim to expand, try to aim to go a little bit beyond your comfort zone, and this is a perfect chance for you to increase your skills. And also you will learn this as you go better and better, but the chance that you have in the jam is really no waste of time and no waste of money, so go for it. Now we have a skill number 10 is create prototype. After you participate in several jams, you learn how to create quickly prototype, you know how to estimate cost and time, you know how much it's required as resources, not only in money and time, but as team members, software you need, and so on. Therefore, this will be very useful skill that you can use not only for work for customer, because you can do this as a freelancer, you can get job as a for develop a prototype, because the customer maybe want to create a prototype and maybe get funds from other people before going full development. But also for develop your games, you can still optimize your time to decide which kind of game do. You can make a small prototype of different kind, show to people, see which one is the one getting more success, which one is more popular, and then pick that one to go in full development game. So therefore, and this is another good reason to practice in the game jam as usual, no cost and no time involved, aside for the course the time invested in the jam. Point number 11 is from prototype to actual game. Yes, the step is not so straightforward, it takes a lot of time still do it, but consider that after a jam, if of course you finish well, you'll be able to submit a game that's actually working. What you have a game that is with core mechanic that is working, then you have people that play the game and give you feedback about the game, and probably also have a little bit of interest from the other team member to be interested in complete the game. So even if before you were just a single person, now you might have other 2-3 people interested in finishing the game, because the game it was fun, the game resonated with them, and they want to keep working together in the project. So this is a very good starting point. As I said before, it's not going to help you in the saving extreme amount of time, but of course for the starting point you don't have to invest time in research and try to make something. You already know that the game is nice, it's fun, and people give you already feedback about what they like and what they don't like, and they give you already some suggestions where to improve the game. So it's a really good starting point to transform this prototype in an actual game. Point number 12 is fun. Yes, this is not a skill you're going to improve. I cheated a little bit here, but don't forget that the focus of participating in a game jam is really to have fun. Fun in developing game, fun in engaging with other people, fun in see what the other people do, following the same theme, but maybe they have different idea. So be part of the community. It's really interesting. It's really a good things to have. It's still not a skill for say, but it's really good for you to be in the environment and to know other people, as I said before, and it's all related to networking, everything. And don't forget the reason why we choose to develop video game. If we want to make money, we will just focus in develop normal software like for accounting and so on. But we want to develop games because we want to join two things together. That is a work environment and fun on creating games. That is something that we like and make a living with that. So think about that. You're making games that need to be fun for you and need also to be fun for the player. We don't make games because we want to get as much money as possible from players. We want just to engage with players. We want to just transmit our idea, our vision of fun. We want that they have fun with our product. So that's another point to keep in mind. As I said before, it's not a skill, but it's a reminded about why we're doing this. So after all this talk, I'm sorry a little bit long today, where you can find a game jam. So if you type on Google or anyway any search engine, you can find really many game jam. The most popular, most famous is the Global Game Jam. This jam runs once per year. It has a physical place all scattered around the world. Every year it becomes more and more popular, and more places want to offer a location where you can go join and participate. Maybe now with this coronavirus, the time is a little bit difficult. I don't know actually for this next one was going to be, but usually it requires a physical presence to participate. And what's interesting that there is the theme to follow. It's usually very interesting theme. And then since everyone participates in the world, the theme is revealed about the same time for every location. So let's say at 8 in the morning here in Sydney, or at 8 in the morning in Italy, Rome, and so on. So the thing is that every participant shouldn't talk about other people on the internet, anyway, in general, about what's the theme until everyone in the world start with the jam. And then at that point, everyone can say and talk about the game and start to share what they're doing. So that's an interesting thing because the whole world is participating in this jam. So it's a very nice experience. I will suggest you to do it. I think I participate 2 or 3 of these jams. It's very nice. And another very famous jam, and this is online, so in case you can participate physically in some location for the Global Game Jam, there is a Ludum Dare. This runs 4 times per year, as every 3 months. And the good thing is this in a site that is running online is that it has like a selection of different theme. I think like 3 or 5 vote poll. So every time participant the jam vote for the theme they want to get in the game, and there is like a selection. They were like from 20, then become 10, and then become I don't know 6, and so on, until at the very end we know what's the theme of the game. So that's another interesting jam. You want really to participate if you can go in any jam that are physical location. And also don't forget that we have itch.io. itch.io of course is not organizing the jam by itself, but offer a place where people can organize jam, and you can go on the jam page. And we find that every day there are so many jams, game jam running. So that is a good thing. At any time you want to decide to participate in a jam, you can just go to in itch.io or the game jam page and pick one and follow the routes and join the jam. So that's really good because now you're watching the video, you feel like to participate, you can just go straight away for that. And you find the jam of every type of length, so from short to very long. So really there is no problem if you want to join any jam. It's easy and fun. Also, Game Jolt has a similar page. It has less choice than itch.io, but still is improving with the time. So you want to have a look in Game Jolt as well to see what they offer there as a gem. Still, as I said before, the gems are organized by people, that may be private people or maybe company. They want to promote the service or whatever. So you find really different kind of gems. So to conclude, here we have found 12 good reasons to participate in game jams. If you have more ideas, of course I have other ideas, but I don't want to make an extremely long video with maybe 50 points. But I would be interested to know what's your point of view, what you enjoy, if you have done already some jams, if you're willing to participate, what you think is a good point, or what you actually experience to see and know what's a really good point to participate in a jam. Let me know in the comments so we can keep discussing there. And then also it's a little bit of time, actually some years I think to organize a game jam. I haven't done yet, but maybe if you're interested we can talk together and maybe we can try to organize a jam and participate everyone. Okay, so aside from this one, let's say what I'm going to say, what to do for the next week. So for the next week I will finally do this tutorial, the construct I haven't done in this week. So I will try to do both Italian and English. And another, very finally, I will put my hands again on Creepy Mahjong, try to do as much as possible by the end of the year. Not much time left, but anyway, it's still good to try. And probably try to do 1 or 2 drawing robots for the tutorial I'm making for construct. And also I invite you, if you are interested, to join me in Patreon to participate about all this discussion we're doing there. I want to do improve more and more community things there, so we can talk about which kind of tutorial you want me to talk about, or which kind of things we can organize together, with everything. Just I'm really open to everything, and we can have a more private and direct discussion one by one there, or anyway a small group of people. So if you want some customized answer, feel free to join me, and I'm happy to help you as much as I can and privately. Okay, thank you again, and thank you again for everyone that supports me on Patreon. I'll see you next week. Bye.